right, we got another episode of the old Frosty Dingy going on. Is that the intro you're always looking for? You think I just
It
got on
is, yeah,
standby and I make it every time? But yeah,
right.
it's not just a little scroll.
Yeah.
We are going to go over the tour of the Iowa Distilling Company and the Prairie Fire that Dirty Dursky's got behind him.
I
And
got bourbon, I got Prairie Fire, I got vodka, I have
this
pepper.
is really good stuff, though.
It
I
was
may
good
drink
stuff.
the rest of the bottle by the
Yeah.
time this is done, but I gotta keep the slut cup going at the same time. So,
Smart.
all right. So, what we got going on is we got the video from the tour, but
Mhm.
for some reason, a couple people didn't turn on their microphones.
Who
So,
would be so dumb?
I have no clue, but I did catch some
I
nice
mean, I
jokes.
clearly know what I'm doing. I have my own. Duh.
But no, I did catch some nice jokes before I plugged the microphone thingy into the bottom of the phone.
Oh,
But
nice.
they're all just looking at you, by the way, because the camera never moved. It was either
Right.
you or the bartender. That's
Yeah,
all that got shot at the beginning. So
right.
we'll get this pulled up and we'll see what you can share with us about this.
Add some audio to it.
You betcha.
A little
Oh,
dub over like the what is it, the Aussie man? The dude from Australia that dubs over, like, animal attacks and stuff.
oh, you bet.
The snake and the mongoose, like, that always cracks me up.
All right. So here we go with your nice shit eating smile you got going on there.
Well, yeah, I was excited.
Waiting for everybody else to show up.
Pretty much.
Here you go.
So that's basically me being Vanna White and waiting for someone to buy a vowel. And as soon as someone buys a vowel, I can explain the puzzle. Now, I think initially I was just talking to everybody to see who had been there and who hasn't. That's one of the foundational things that we like to do at Iowa Distilling, especially on the bar side, is just double check if somebody's been there. If they haven't been there before, it starts an entire spiel about who we are, how long we've been there, what the products are, and then we offer some sort of a taste test. If it's somebody that's been there before, they likely know what they want. So, walking through all of the products that are available, Prairie Fire is kind of the staple of Iowa Distilling Company, available in 3 sizes. It's got, liters, 750 milliliters, and the 50 milliliter airplane bottles, shooters, minis, whatever you wanna call them. Its little brother is Saints and Sinners apple pie. We don't offer that one in a plastic liter bottle like we do with Prairie Fire. That one's only available in the 750s and in the minis. So those are kind of the two front runners of the company. We also have vodka that's 1858 Iowa State vodka. That one gives back to it used to be the We Will Collective. I know they've shifted some things around. You'll probably even see me do this with my hands in the video when I talk about it. But they've shifted some things around. Regardless, for every bottle that's purchased, it not only kicks back money to the athletes themselves, but to the athletic departments. So it was the first college in the United States to kick back to both and not have some sort of a sponsorship that was only for given to their collective, their NIL stuff, or whatever, however everybody else has it set up. I just know Iowa State's because of the vodka. We also have Zone that we produce. That's a ozone purified vodka. If it wasn't proprietary, I would love to explain those steps because it's super cool. But the end result is it's a cleaner, crisper vodka than you're typically used to. If more people knew about it and it sold more than it did, it would be one of the more expensive vodkas out there because of the flavor or lack of, like, it's so good it would be a top shelf vodka, but we can't price it that way because it doesn't. I mean, it's priced where it can sell. It's not, we're not trying to price ourselves out of the market just because it's a really good product.
And didn't you guys
Uh,
win a blind tasting on that or something?
So we got second place bourbon. That was at the San Francisco World. Shit, I never get it right. It was before I started working there that we won it or got second place. Second place with bourbon and third place with Zone Vodka. So yes, both of those have won at the World mm, Alcohol Fest, whatever it's called. I never remember the name. Somebody's gonna call me out on it, I'm sure. The third vodka that we do is Swell. We don't own that one. We do that for a third party, but we do manufacture it, bottle it in house for a third party. They just pay us per bottle that we kick out.
So it looks
Um,
like you're caught up to the video right now, and you're walking through each individual bottle. You started with the Prairie
Probably
Fire.
right. Well, and I think I probably already talked about the aged products and rocket fuel. So
Yeah.
uh, even if it's out of order, it's not a big deal. The two aged products that we offer are made from scratch. Those are ran through the stills, like they're recipes that were created through Iowa Distilling as a company. That's bourbon and rum. Bourbon is aged at least 2 years. The most recent barrels that we opened and blended were about 3.17 years old. I always like to track kind of where they're at, how old they are, in case somebody asks me. I need to be the guy that knows. If I don't know, that's kind of an issue. But the last several that we've opened have been over 3 years, although the label says aged at least 2 years. We found that 3.5 year spot is kind of the sweet spot. That is the difference between maximizing flavor and minimizing loss through evaporation through the barrels. So obviously, the longer you age something, the less liquid there's going to be inside. The barrels themselves are a little porous, and with it, expanding, contracting within the staves inside there through the char, it's going to absorb some of that you never get back out. The rum that we do is a sweet Caribbean style rum. So if you're looking for a spiced rum to go with Coca Cola or something like that, that's not the one that you want. This being a sweeter rum pairs more with citrus or even pineapple. It's not quite a citrus. It goes better with fruit. So if you want to mix it with something, dilute it down a little bit. If you don't like drinking it straight, it goes really well with tropical fruits. The last one that I mentioned but haven't really touched on is Rocket Fuel. That's a 151, comparable to Everclear, like everybody buys it, but it's several dollars cheaper than Everclear, sitting on everybody's shelves. So if you see it out there, you like to make your own apple pie in the fall, that's the stuff to use. You want to use Rocket Fuel.
So we got up to where you're showing off the awards
Bragging
up
about the
there.
metals.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I paused it real quick, and so you could walk through those as well.
Yeah, I can't really even see it from here, and I couldn't read them when I was standing there. So, yes, we did enter. God, I wish I could remember the name of. Nobody ever asks me that, so it's not one of them that I remember. But out in San Francisco every year, they do a blind taste test for anybody that wants to enter their spirits. It's I think it's a wine and spirits competition. So you can do a blind taste test. You can, enter whatever you want. We don't really have a category for saints and sinners. Some people put it in the cordials, some people put it in the liqueurs. Like it doesn't really have a group. So we've never entered that one, or it likely would have won something by now as well. But the bourbons won, the vodkas won. There's not really a category for flavored whiskeys. But as far as winning awards go, we're Iowa's number one whiskey for 8 years in a row with Prairie Fire. So super happy with that. Also, 8 years running best distillery in Iowa. So obviously super happy with those. We do have a ton of awards. You can see it in the image that we're either first or second place for. And they just keep rolling in, but it's all because of the raging fans that we have. The people that pick our stuff up, they love it and they keep coming back to it. So without that, like we wouldn't be here.
Oh, I agree. So we are walking down the bar to get into the actual manufacturing process, and believe it or not, thought it was in a different place than the bar.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, I
You
thought the
didn't know?
bar was twice the size of what it was. I didn't know
Oh,
it
yeah.
was literally right behind the bar, so
Yep. No, it's kind of a cool setup. The video will get there, but I could start touching on it a little bit. So there's a wall that runs down half of the building, or runs down the middle of the building, splitting it into two sides. So it's half lounge. You can come in, you can do taste tests, you can do samples, you can have them whip up a cocktail for you. The biggest seller that they have on that side of the wall is always blackberry lemonade made with zone vodka. Second place is an old fashioned. So you're circling right back to the zone vodka and the bourbon being the top two, and then any of the Prairie Fire cocktails that are in there. Even if you don't like the heat of the cinnamon, you can blend it into a cocktail. There's everything from sweet to tart to heat to, I mean, dealer's choice at that point. If you see something on the menu that you like, you can always ask, does this have some heat behind it, or what's the flavor like? So with that wall running down the middle, Friday afternoons roll around, production's still running. You can actually sit there, drink a cocktail, and watch through those picture windows and see everything operate. um, Explaining kind of back in that corner, that's where the stills are set up that we run the bourbon and rum through. So, as I mentioned before, those are house recipes. We make those from scratch, run them through the stills. The bourbons ran through the stills twice, the rums ran through once, and then aged in our oak barrels. So, following all of the rules that you need to for bourbon to make it bourbon, we follow it to a T, and then with the rum, we age those in the same barrels that we use for our bourbon barrels. So everything has to be virgin barrels. Can't use it twice. With the rum, you can. They're not quite as strict on the rules, but we don't. It's a one time use. One of the cool things that we do with the barrels, once we empty a barrel so that we could start bottling and get everything out on the shelves, we contact local businesses or they contact us. I keep a spreadsheet that has a list of people. Next up gets a call or an email saying, "Hey, we have empty barrels. When do you want to come pick them up?" What they then do with them is they're a winery or a brewery or another distillery or something to that effect that wants to age one of their products inside of a once used bourbon barrel or a rum barrel. There's even a honey guy and a syrup guy that like to do this, that make their own, and then they age inside those barrels. And you could catch those guys at farmers markets and stuff around here. I know they hit the Valley Junction farmers market like every Thursday. I think they run on Thursdays. And I have some here. They're delicious. I love them. So the honey I mean, anything that you want to use honey for, and the syrup, I put it on pancakes and stuff. It's got a little bit of a rum flavor behind it, but that mix of flavors between syrup and rum goes a long ways. So kind of cool to get through that. I love when they bring us samples and then request additional barrels. Once the barrels are twice used, we get them back to then sell them to the general public. So we don't ever give anybody a freshly dumped one, not anybody that's just off the streets. We always give it to another company to help build that relationship up a little bit, because nobody wants a twice used barrel. You really can't do anything with it at that point. So once we get it back from whatever company leased it from us, they lease it for $1 a year. They give it back to us, and then we sell it to the general public. People like them for patio furniture, man cave, basement bar, garage, whatever. Because they're kind of cool. Walking through the production facility, I see you got it paused there.
yes,
So
sir.
that's our rinser table that's right there under that tarp. It's or painter's plastic, whatever, just to keep it sanitary, keep it clean. We rinse all of the bottles before they go on the line. Not that we receive them dirty, but they come shipped in a box, and you can always get those little cardboard, floaty, feathery things, just kind of dust in them. We obviously can't have that in finished product. So we rinse them out first with vodka. Like, we make sure that it's going to be cleaner than just rinsing it out with water. So if there happens to be any germs, they're definitely dead at that point. We have a 4 fill head filler machine, and it will run between 16 and 20 bottles per minute. It'll run about 9,000 bottles in a shift, but we always run out of liquid before we can we can get that many bottles through it. Our tanks are only so big; they only hold so many gallons that we always run out of liquid before we have a chance to run that many bottles in a day. Plus, that would just be flying. It would be super hectic, and you'd have to have 3 or 4 people on the line watching it to run it that fast. It's really not feasible to run it at that speed, but we don't need it ran at that speed. But that gives us a little bit of leeway that if everybody starts buying this stuff and it starts flying off the shelves, we can kick it up a notch if we need to.
You can
Uh,
also
the,
see that on, all of the Iowa Distilling, socials, like
yeah,
Instagram and TikTok. They actually show it running the bottles through and
right.
all that
Yeah,
fun stuff.
and TikTok's one of the newer ones. So we just hired an additional social media manager to go along with our marketing director, and he's been doing a great job building the following for TikTok. We already have a pretty good following on Facebook and Instagram. I think Facebook's over 25,000 followers. Instagram's not quite as high, but has very dedicated followers that like to like, share, and comment on there. TikTok's kind of the baby. The marketing director didn't really know how to do it, didn't really have capacity for it. So once we hired somebody as an assistant to her, that's been one of the things that we've focused on to make sure that everybody can kind of see the cool behind the scenes stuff, actually watch the bottling line run a little bit.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely
then
interesting to watch how that whole system rolls,
it
especially
is cool.
now that I know what the machines are and what they do.
Yep.
So,
Right.
it
Yep.
it
And
kinda kinda builds a little bit more suspense and, watching it fly down the line.
it does. Right. Because that might be the bottle that you end up with. You
Yep.
never know. So, yeah, it's always cool. That's why I always encourage people to come in when we do our summer hours in the lounge. The lounge opens at noon on Fridays, and we typically run until 3 p.m. and do a cleanup from 3 to 4. So if you ever want to come in and have a cocktail, sit down and watch through those plate glass windows, you can actually watch the line run for a couple of hours if you want to go in there. Now, it is a little bit loud. That wall in the middle doesn't go all the way to the ceiling, so just be aware if you are going in to have a conversation with somebody, you're going to be yelling at them across the table.
Better throw out the address while you're at it.
Yeah, it's 4349 Cumming Avenue in Cumming, Iowa. As if you didn't have to say it enough, it's coming. And I mean, who doesn't love Cumming? It
Not
says
very
it on the
many
water
people.
tower, so
Yeah.
I'm not lying. That's kind of the tagline of the town.
So, where we're at in the video, it looks like we just went past the label machine.
Right. So there's a machine in between there. So once it leaves the 4 fill heads, it runs through a capper. We
Ah,
have an
that's what it
automatic
was, yeah.
capper, and we run every bottle through there except for bourbon because it's corked.
Yep.
So that one is the only one that doesn't run through the capping machine. But it presses down on it, gives it a little twist, and everything comes through just squeaky clean, nice as can be, and it saves your hands from trying to do it yourself. Like we used to do it that way back in the day before we had all this machinery, and it will rub holes in your hand through your skin.
Oh, I bet.
Not advised. One star. Don't advise. Get a capper. Once it leaves the capper, it does run through the labeler. Most of our bottles have a front and back label, so it kicks 2 labels onto it. We just have that timing down. It spins the bottle, shoots 2 labels out real quick. The bottle grabs it because it's pinned in there as it's spinning, shoots it out past it, and then we have a printer that just real quick shoots out dots, but those dots are always in the shape of numbers. It tells us what batch number we're running. We want that for traceability in case somebody says, "Hey, I bought a bottle of Prairie Fire and something just tasted a little bit off, or it was a little bit too hot, or it was a little too sweet, or something to that effect." We can always, ask what batch number it is. There's a batch number written there. Find out if anything went wrong in the recipe. Was there a spill? Was there an overage? Was there something that's happened? Granted, none of these have, but as an example, we want to know just for our own knowledge, can we trace that back? Can we find out if something happened in a specific batch and then, make sure that it never happens again? So we not only put that batch number on the bottle, but it's on the outside of the case as well. So if you were to pick up 12 of these bottles, and you can right now, I know at Urbandale, Hy-Vee, and a couple of the big ones, or what is it, West Lakes, the one in West Des Moines. the Wall of Wine that's over there by Costco. Some of these places are selling for 9, 10, and $11 a piece because they bought in bulk so much that they're able to offer those sorts of prices. That's cheaper than I can get it in house with my employee discount. So if you need your fix right now, there's some hellacious deals going on.
Nice. And you were, saying that the bourbon gets a cork. What's that process? I know you went through
So
it on the
that
video, but
Yep, that one is manual. I can even demonstrate with my arms if you'd like. Um, we have to do it one at a time. We're not set up to do bulk batches of bourbon. It's a limited release anyway, and it only takes us about a day to do bourbon once we get it out of the barrels. So it's a little mechanism. I'll kind of do it sideways. It's got a little handle on it, and it's got a flat spot right here. And you set the bottle underneath it, set the cork on top of it, and then you just pull down on it to get it to go in. And it's spring loaded; it comes right back up. So every one of them's done manually, and then it's got a tamper evident shrink wrap that goes on it. So that goes into a heat tunnel. Just shrink it down real quick to make sure that nobody's messed with your stuff. So I mean, legally we have to have that on there anyway, some sort of a tamper evident to make sure that the bottle wasn't opened before you bought it.
that's probably a good thing. So apparently you didn't trust any of us and you had to lock the door when we were leaving.
Well,
I see
it
how it is.
when it's just bartenders in there and it's the production side, that is solely my responsibility. And I don't need anybody walking in there. Look at the cases I'm standing right next to. Somebody walk in there, just grab a 12 pack real quick, walk out the door, like, that ain't happening. So I make sure I take care of that stuff, lock all the doors.
Well, it's probably a good idea,
Yeah.
especially with the, group we had walking through. It looks like they'd fit
Yeah.
right in the back of our vehicles real quick.
Yep. Especially you. Like it's definitely the people that I know already that would steal from
Oh, I wouldn't steal anything. I might drink it while I'm standing there, but I wouldn't take it
me.
with me.
Right. So yeah, that's Iowa Distilling. We've been around for quite a while. A lot of people, it always surprises me when people say they've never heard of us. And then, you mention Prairie Fire or Saints and Sinners, and they're, oh yeah, I've heard of that. I didn't even know that was local. And it's like, yeah, dude, pay attention. Like, know what you're buying. And half the time, we have our salespeople throwing neck hangers on this stuff, saying "Made in Iowa" or "local" or something to that effect. Once it's out there on the shelves, just letting people know if you want to support local, you have plenty of options. Like we make a ton of stuff, wide variety.
So we're, getting into the, second half of your video here. I went ahead and skipped the walk. I didn't think anybody needed to see that.
No, especially if it's my backside.
But at some point, the volume comes back during this part, so
I mean, at that point, we're standing in the rack house, so that's where we age our barrels. Like I mentioned before, with expansion and contraction, it goes in and out of those staves. That building doesn't have HVAC in it, so it is subject to the elements. But we want that. It helps age the bourbon faster. It gives it a more full flavor. It makes it seem like it's an older bourbon than it is based on the age that's written on the outside of the barrel. So the fact that it can get
Make sure that
hot
we're
and expand,
always on
it can
top of
get
that
cold
stuff,
and
always have enough
contract. It goes
time
in and
to
out
be.
of those staves, multiple times a day, multiple times a season, and throughout the year, which helps us compete with some of those big boys that can age them, 5, 7, 10 years.
well, apparently the volume is back on this, so you can just fill in on, whatever you miss for the rest of it, I guess.
I did a pretty good job here. I remember what I went through, and I think we could just watch it. I don't even need to do anything.
Well, we may have questions.
To get more in. Otherwise, we're like, well, we're out of those.
Is it about
What
how I
options
flail
do
my
we have at
arms
this
when
point?
I talk?
So,
That is how you flail your arms when you
I've got to
talk.
do it to keep that consistent look. And then I built this as kind of a little meeting
lot
There
of
it looks
flavor.
like
It
I'm
never gets
explaining the,
used,
the
but
rest of the
when there's
building
supposed to
is
be a
used
table out here in
for
the middle.
storage. All of our production materials.
We've had people come out here and podcast, and everybody kind of likes to look around. You guys come in here if you want. You can look around and see what date
Trying to
these
invite you
barrels
guys
were
in.
tucked
and
away.
Nobody wanted to
Everything's got
step
a
up.
date
Oh,
and a
there we
label
have
on it.
a brave soul.
Some are older
There's a
than
couple
others.
items.
Some are
Get in
fairly
there.
young.
I took
But like
time
said,
to build
inside,
that little room
it's-
out of
we
bourbon
only do
barrels,
straight bourbon,
rum
so we
barrels.
won't open
So
anything
people would
less
go in and
than
look around.
2 years.
That's
But right
cool.
now,
Plus it smells
everything
good.
that we have is pushing
You have it all
3 and a
segregated,
half.
sir.
So the bourbon that's available inside,
like
if
you
you
need a
guys wanted to
ticket.
snag a bottle, that one's
Just gotta walk in the door. I mean, you could fade me.
1.7
$5
years
would've
old
got
or
you in.
something to that effect.
Who
So
decides when it's ready?
I do. There's a common theme if you're asking what
there
the
volume to
people
that? 'Cause I
around
don't
here
hear
are
it.
responsible for.
Right.
So no, I have a spreadsheet of all of these barrels,
Is it
and
just
I
you
went
that
through
can
it
hear it?
about a year and a half ago to see how we could
headphones?
optimize being able to open some of these. If we just followed it
Still
all the
sad
way
you wouldn't let me
through,
carry that barrel
everything
out.
starts to get a little bit older as we go, but it doesn't
mean,
quite
it's
have
heavy.
some of
You
those
can pick
big
it up. You
jumps.
can
Like
have
we
it.
want to be able to compete with some of the big boys that are
There's
out there.
4
but
of
you
us
can't
ready to
do
go.
that if you keep opening your oldest stuff.
Yeah, even
that's
4.
3 years
That's,
or 3.5
it's
years
tricky.
or 3.75. So we've
It takes
tucked
2
some
of
of
us
those
to
older
tip it
ones
backwards
and
on a
stuck
dolly.
more along the lines of those right at 3-year bourbons, to where some of them are getting way older, and by the time we jump back to those, it should be around April of next year, as long as our plan doesn't change and the boss doesn't make me change it. We're going to go from 2.8 to 2.9-ish for the next year, and then we're jumping to 5-year bourbons from there on out. So by just shifting some of those and opening them in a different order, we can still have straight bourbon going into a bottle like we want to, and even a little older than that. But then once we get through some of those, everything in here is going to be 5+ years old.
So will that have a different label or just
Well,
same?
we've been talking about upgrading the label. We want to change it to a 3+ or a 4+. We don't necessarily want to
realized
put
how much I use my
5+
hands.
on there just in case
quite a
something
bit,
went
sir.
wrong and we had to go back to a 4-year. You have to go through the headache of
I don't
changing
seem to
the
do it when
entire
I'm
label.
podcasting.
So
No,
that's
you
on the
have something to
marketing
hold on
side.
to.
They decide
Yeah, I
what
have
goes on the
armrests
label
here.
and what doesn't. I just come up with the plan of when to open these and when to not open.
So is that the only department you're not in, or?
Marketing and sales, yeah, that's basically.
There are some good questions in this, though. if I
What else you guys
remember
want
right.
to know about this
That's true.
stuff?
Yeah.
So is that batch number 7?
That is batch number 7. That one's about 12.5 years old.
Wow.
So will that be available at some point, or?
I keep asking the big man myself what the plan is, because we have, let me see, both of those. We have 7 and 10.
10, yeah.
I think it's that one as well, and these 2 at the bottom.
Is that batch 1?
No.
Oh.
No, we don't have a batch 1. 7's the oldest one that we have.
So the
Why
older-
don't you have
the
a batch
older, the
one?
more pricey it gets.
How do you value that?
Well,
It's
drank?
hard to do. You obviously can't say this is the most
one
special thing
sitting?
in the world, and all of a sudden it's $100
You
a
would.
bottle. But
Maybe.
if it's single barrel and even barrel proof, and you're not proofing it down, there's enough people that like that one-off stuff. You could almost ask anything that you wanted for it. So it's just, to some people, it's that super cool niche thing, and that's what they're into. That's what they enjoy. There's a lot of just people that collect, and they don't even open it and drink it. Some people buy it to drink it. That's what it's for. I have a little bit of a collection at my house too, but I taste them all. I like to drink it.
Cheating.
Yeah. So yeah, we have several that are 11, 12 years old, basically since the company started, and we're just waiting for the boss to have an idea of what he wants to do. I think he's wanting it to be a 20-year, so 8-ish more years.
special edition comes out or
Yeah.
something?
Yep.
Okay.
And we have a one-off barrel in here that we made with Corteva corn. It's the barrel 149. It was made with a different corn specifically for, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, so I hope our marketing team's not watching, but it's like Learfield and the people that support Iowa State athletics, things like that, wanted us to do a one-off special barrel with their corn from their farm. So they will eventually circle back around to just purchase the whole barrel.
Huh.
How many gallons of liquid in there?
53. At least when we put it away, there's always that angel share that ends up on the floor or evaporated. But the good news is when we go to tuck our bourbon away, it has to be under 125 proof to be able to call it bourbon. We do it at 124.9. But when we go to harvest these, it's the water that's evaporated out of it. So a lot of times that proof goes up to 126 or 127.
That's what you do.
So when we go to dilute it down to get it down to 90 where it needs to be.
For it. You got to get it right.
Hey, I'm not a distilling
So
guy.
that's really cool. And it's got
You
more
gotta
flavor
speak the
because
talk.
it's the water that left and not the alcohol.
If that's a
Where do you
phrase.
get your barrels?
So the barrels are out of... God, it's changed twice. It's either Missouri or Michigan. I don't remember now. And I don't think it says on it. My boss is probably watching this from home cringing right now. How do you keep forgetting this? I don't remember. I have an email and I say,
figured out
hey,
where it's from yet?
we need 8 more barrels and they ship them to me.
Boy.
Yep.
So, and if you guys can tell, the rack house itself is not heated. There's no HVAC in here. That's better for the barrels. If they heat up and cool down as the seasons change, it ages the bourbon faster inside those barrels. It gives the barrel an ability to breathe. So when it gets super cold, it pushes everything out of the wood, and when it gets super hot, it kind of expands and absorbs a little bit. So it kind of breathes in and out of those staves inside there, ages it a little bit faster. So it's about the best way to force age, even though some people say that doesn't exist. That's not a real thing, but that's the way that we do it. That's the way that we like it. And so far it's working for us.
So when you move production over here, we have to move these?
Yeah, because so we expected our bottling line to start from here, and then we'll be able to spray any spills into there instead of mopping the wooden floor that's under it now. So yeah, we'll have the bottling line run down where all of these grates are, and then the stills and everything else are going to go at the opposite end of the building. So yeah, we'll have everything in one. Right now it's hurry up and wait. We're waiting on the city so that we can get the water that we need for a sprinkler system. It's
You'll
in their
have to
plan
make sure to
dig
tell
up this
Ashley
street
she did a
to
good job
redo
on
the
her
city's
camera
water
work.
lines.
She did do a
Or
good
we
job.
could
I
pay
think
to
so.
do it. Why would
Especially
we
with
pay
that
to
new
do it
thing
when
she
they're
never ran
already gonna
before.
do it? So
Yeah.
Forever, right?
The
Yeah,
automated
which is
motion.
pretty cool.
it's in the 5-year plan, and that was
I
started
have
about
one of
4
those.
years ago. So
They're nice.
for it.
Well, it's nice you guys are growing in the whole town. I mean,
Yeah,
it only matters.
right. Yep, and
So
that
will
helps.
you keep the same stills?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Unless, I mean, if this stuff starts to blow up, like our sales and marketing team is chasing after, we'll need bigger, better, more equipment to be able to keep up. So everything's coming from kind of a cash flow aspect. The more
Stop
you guys
flailing your
buy and
arms,
drink,
June.
the more we have to produce. And if we've hit a limit, we're either hiring
Right when
more
you say
people or
that, you
getting
do the
new
big
equipment.
I know.
So you got to find that
Then it
balance
amplifies.
there. And you know, coming from a
know what to
managerial
do with my
spot in
arms.
this company, I'd rather have more machinery. They're easier to manage.
I can't put my arms down.
Call in sick.
You got the little leg pad on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta change it up.
That's right, he was looking at you.
So yeah, this is us. This is Iowa Distilling.
Wow.
And these are our low-numbered bourbon bottles sitting waiting for Bourbon Club in May. So next Friday we will put these out. Get
Those
ready
ones
for
are
Bourbon
out
Club,
in
'cause
the
Bourbon
world.
Club
We had
starts
Bourbon
on
Club. It was last
Sunday.
Did you get rid
There's
of all
either
of
2
them?
or 3 shifts.
No,
that
I
you
think
can
we still
come
have,
in, kind of hang out with
a few of
everybody,
them.
eat your meal,
I
and
know
I
there's a
think
couple boxes
since it's
in the
lining
back
up with
still.
Cinco de Mayo, I think we're
So
doing
we still have
taco
at
trucks.
least 4 of those cases.
Everybody gets a meal ticket. You get your
Make
taco
sure Ed
trucks.
gets,
You get your
gets
low-numbered
sent on that
bottle.
one.
You get your
Yeah.
Bourbon Club discount for all of your drinks, and then we see you 3 months later. It's kind of a cool deal.
So I can sign up today for that?
Yeah. If you sign up today, your tab today also gets the Bourbon Club discount. So, yeah. So even if you wanted that applied to it, I mean,
I know, right?
if you're in there drinking enough, it might pay for itself. All you need to have is 10 or 12 cocktails, and that $25 kind of gets absorbed
Right?
in there.
There you go. There you go. Come on.
that concludes the tour. Anything else you guys want to know? And I can continue answering any questions you can think of while we're in there messing around and drinking and playing board
Can you
games.
slip one of those bottles out of the boxes for us today?
No.
Leave it to Miles.
I heard every tour gets a free barrel.
Yeah,
He's a good guy.
Every tour gets a free
I like
barrel.
meeting
Just
him.
pick one up, take it
That's
home.
right.
So
Yeah.
will the Bourbon Club get first dibs on some of the old stuff?
We don't
Or
know.
is that up to the owner?
Yeah, that's gonna be up to Kyle on what he wants to do. I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
You know, that shows loyalty to our biggest fans. I mean, you can't find anybody that wants to support us more than the people that are in Bourbon Club.
Mm-hmm.
So, in my opinion, yes, that's exactly how I would do it. Because if it ends up
Shush your
being,
dog.
you know, a $70, $80, $90 bottle,
Right.
give it to somebody that already gets a 10% discount. Like they're the ones
I know that's
that
not in the rack
are
house.
here throughout the year. They're the ones that are going out and ordering our stuff at a sit-down restaurant saying, I'd like an old-fashioned, but do you have Iowa Distilling bourbon?
Mm-hmm.
That stuff goes a long way. Even if they don't have it, if they keep hearing it time and time again, they'll start bringing it in. So that's the raving fans that we always try to get, is the people that ask for our stuff everywhere that they go. And with Prairie Fire competing with the other cinnamon whiskeys out there, always helps when you're out at a bar. And you can do more with it than just drink it as a shot. Like Kobe was out there drinking a Firefly. That's pretty tasty stuff. So, like, you don't have to drink it straight. You can mix it into a cocktail. And some of them are pretty high class. Like, you don't have to be embarrassed about it. It's good stuff. Just because it's pink doesn't mean you can't drink it.
So the corn that's
wrong
used
with
for
pink?
all this, is this all Iowa corn?
Yeah,
I
we get it
mean-
from Ankeny. From Griffin Farms in Ankeny.
I got pink on.
Yeah. That's actually
A little
kind of a
bit.
cool story as well. So the corn that
My
we
low
get,
pan shirt.
once we cook the corn, it becomes spent grains. And if we can't find something to do with it, we got to run it to the dump. Locally, we have a farm not far from here that we buy beef from. So we feed it to their cows. So we cook it here, feed it to their cows, buy that beef back, and then that's the beef that we donate to the local food pantries and stuff like that. So it kind of goes full circle.
Oh, wow.
And myself, my son-in-law, like, we go in on a half a cow every year, and it's the same farm that we get it from personally that we stock our freezers with as well. So I know what that cow ate because I cooked the corn and gave it to that farm to feed it to their cows.
That's
so
here
it's
in
kind
Warren County?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, Silver K Farms.
Okay.
I think their address is either Cumming or Norwalk, but their house is in Pearl. So
Okay.
it's, once you get to the small towns, it's like, well, only one of them has a post office. So, this is pretty good. So yeah, they're local. They're just outside of town.
Nice. That's cool.
So are these new canisters that haven't been used yet?
So no, all of these have liquid in them. So the ones that haven't been used are down at the other end on the left-hand side. So there's 4 empty bourbon barrels down there.
So you reuse these once you empty them out, right?
Nope, one-time use. Has to be a virgin barrel to be able to call it bourbon. Can't be
So
twice
we use
used.
the old barrels.
So typically what we do is we have good relationships with wineries, cideries, breweries, winemakers. There's a honey guy and a syrup guy.
Do believe
that
you
like our
answered
barrels
that
that
already,
do
didn't you?
Different age
I'm
things
pretty sure.
with them. The honey guy and the
Tell them to
syrup
listen
guy
next
like our
time,
rum
smack 'em
barrels.
around.
That's what they always
I
want
was
because
probably
they're
wrong
already
both
sweet.
times.
They'll take them, they'll age their honey or syrup in it, and then they'll bottle it to sell at farmers markets and things like that. So I know the
In their
Valley
defense,
Junction
everybody had already
farmers
started
market. You
drinking,
can find both
so-
of them out there on Thursday
may or
nights,
may have had, like,
selling their stuff,
a
and they
couple.
typically bring us some bottles every time that they make some as well. The bourbon barrels
So
are a
do you
little more
enjoy
popular
watching
for
yourself on
cideries
video?
and wineries.
It's
and,
great.
and breweries, things
Just
like that.
flail in my hand.
It depends on who's doing what, when
Well,
they
you
want it on
learn
their
how to-
line.
how to
I have a
make it better
spreadsheet of
next
that as
time.
well, of who's next in line to get the next 2 bourbon barrels.
No, because if
to
I
give it
try to
them,
do something,
and we lease it to them for
it'll make
$1 a
me
year. We
seem
just can't
stiff or
give it to
awkward.
them. So
I'll
we
just-
lease it to
I'll
them.
just continue
As
to
soon
talk
as
with
they
my hands.
age their stuff, they bring it back. After it's been twice used, we sell it out of the lounge. So if you wanted it for furniture
Wow.
on your patio, you want to build a bar
Don't worry.
out of it,
I
you
know
want to
we're
have it
gonna
in your
edit that
basement
out.
or your garage, whatever, it's available for anybody
I know where
in
the
the
mute
lounge to
button
be able
is.
to buy.
I use it a lot.
And a lot of times,
Good call.
Bourbon Club members know about it first. So I'm
not going to put that in the official video for
Pretty
you.
hot commodity.
What breweries use them?
So I've delivered to Peachtree several times, but they're closed down now.
Yeah.
Last time I went by Exile, they had one of our barrels in the window. I think Big Grove has a barrel,
Okay.
but I don't know for sure what they're doing. Oh, Twisted Vine downtown snags 2 or 4 a year from us to age some stuff.
God, how long
Last
was
time
this
they
tour?
did peanut butter and jelly
Let's look.
something.
You even
bourbon
skipped some
out of it.
stuff.
It's pretty good.
There's 13 minutes left.
I liked it.
Gross.
But
So
yeah,
you're
they'll
looking
make them,
about
they'll do that stuff,
55
and then they'll bring
minutes.
us a 4-pack or whatever, and
Wow.
then we'll drink it as a leadership team. They're like, spoils of war. These are ours.
Just force us, right?
Yeah.
It's only Tuesday.
How many
You
barrels
gave
do you
us
guys
a
make?
thorough talking
So
to, sir.
the
Well,
goal
and nobody had any questions
throughout
right
the
away.
year is 2 per
I was
month.
like, okay.
So it takes
that's
about
the
2
tour,
weeks
and then
to do
everybody starts
one
asking
barrel,
questions.
because you have to run it through the stills twice. It takes 3 cooks to be able to run it through the stills once, and then 3 of those times 2 to do a high wines run. Like it's just very time consuming to be able to do it. Short answer, 24 per year.
Okay.
And then we open them in a limited capacity. We do 2 per quarter. So we open 8 per year so that we always add more to our stock. But at this point, we haven't had a distiller since last August. We kind of, once that distiller left for bigger and better things, that was his call. He started in the brewing world, saw an opening to get back into the brewing world. We didn't fault him for it. He's a great guy. We decided not to replace somebody right away, to allocate those funds to other things that we wanted to do. Kind of ramp up marketing a little bit, get our sales department where it needed to be, get some new equipment for the bottling line and things like that, to where we weren't paying that towards a salary. Now that the water's kind of settled on that, we're ready to bring in a distiller, to be able to start doing it full time for us again.
Right.
So how many full employees you guys have total?
7.
7?
Wow. It's a big
7.
operation for 7.
Yep, 7 full time, and then 5 part time bartenders.
How many bottles of bourbon do you get out of a barrel?
Roughly 300. That's the easy answer. A lot of times we could get a little bit more. Sometimes it'll push 325 or so. But we always blend 2 barrels together when we go to bottle it. So it gives it a more consistent flavor, but it's always barrels aged right next to each other. So it would be like 149 and 150 going in together, and not 149 and 142, because their ages are so different that we don't want to compromise that. But that's the cool thing about it too. They all age a little bit differently, and we try to get it a little bit older every time that we go to open some. So batch 27 to batch 37 are going to taste a little bit different. It's the same mash bill, it's the same recipe, but they're aged different, aged longer. And the longer it's aged, the smoother it is, the little more flavor you're going to get out of it. It's just kind of a better experience all around. That's why I like collecting them and tasting them side by side, because they're all good. It doesn't make one worse because it's younger. It's just there's kind of a sweet spot to it.
So who came up with the recipe?
So that was one of the very first employees that worked here.
Questions
so when the
just
company
keep
started,
coming.
it wasn't the current owner that we have now. He wanted to make brandy and couldn't quite get it
Questions
right.
start coming, and they don't stop
And
coming.
he had some of the barrels, couldn't really figure it
back to the
out.
wheels.
And he was talking to his
Keep the
dad
town
about,
running? What?
I can't figure out this brandy stuff. He's like, well, try bourbon.
You are kind of
Try
being an
bourbon
all-star
instead.
right
So
now.
he tried it real quick, just following a basic recipe, and then slowly critiqued it over the years. And then when
On my
he
day
hired
off,
a distiller,
Doing a tour
it
for
got
you guys for free.
converted even further. So it's kind of
I don't
first
know.
couple years.
It cost me quite a bit.
Found its own recipe, its own life, just a little bit at a time, and now we've been on that solid recipe for year.
So does the distiller person come up with the fine tuning of the recipe?
So the recipe is what it is at this point.
It is.
Like it
okay.
never
it won't
changes.
change.
No.
Okay.
And we won't change it. The only thing that we would ever do is once we get to capacity of being able to produce what we need to be able to keep up with the market, go into that R&D aspect and give it to the distiller and say, well, what do you want to try? Do you want to try something with more rye in it? Do you want to try something that's a flavored cask? Or do you want to do something different? Do you want to do, a different style rum? Do you want to try, we try to add that to just give it a little bit of spark. Because if you're just doing the same thing day in and day out, it's going to get a little monotonous. But if you can hit your goals and you're getting your barrels put away, start experimenting with stuff.
Right.
We'll give you a chance to come up with your own.
Do you plan on doing like single barrel batches or no?
Only if it's going to be. So last year we started kind of experimenting with if a company wanted their own barrel. We did one that we split between Simpson.
And I think this is a cool aspect that you guys do, by the way.
I don't remember what it was now, but they
What makes
went
you say that?
through our marketing
The
department.
fact that you let
and
people buy their
created
own barrels
labels
and bottle them
They got
with
to
their own
pick
labels.
the barrel that they wanted, and then we bottled it for them. They came in as like a
If
work
they want to
event,
take advantage of it,
and
nobody's bought a
kinda-
full barrel
We
yet.
supervised the
so-
bottling line, but they made sure that the labels went on. They made sure that it was corked.
Well, how
It
much
had
would a
name
full
on it,
barrel
like
cost?
They hand numbered every
about
bottle that
15
came off
grand.
the line. Like it was kind of a cool
cool.
experience. So that's kind of a one-off that. Since that went so well,
we'll have
we're
a Frosty
thinking,
Dingy
well, what if somebody
barrel
wanted to buy
eventually.
an entire barrel?
That'd be cool.
And come in and do something.
Design your
just
own
like
label.
That. Like,
bet.
that would be fine as well. And we've had
Have my
companies,
signature on it and your
like
signature
John
on
Deere
it.
wanting to
I
come
want
in
your
and have,
wife's
their
signature,
own
just like that
label
book.
and things like that, which is, I mean, it's pretty cool to have it.
Perfect.
But do you have the pockets for it as well? Because that's not
Ballpark
cheap
But she's got to
to be
sign
able-
your
it's about
name in her
$15,000
handwriting.
for a barrel.
Yeah, that's the only way that works.
Yeah.
But Jerry, you gotta be able to get one today, right?
Yeah, we take checks.
Oh, you take checks. I thought I had money.
But no, to have a Jerry edition
Right,
bourbon, like, how cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'd come in here and we could barrel thief out of these things and you find the one that tastes just right. Be fun.
So do you
think
have
about
someone that comes in and tastes them
I do.
periodically? You do? Okay. Just to see where they're
How
at.
you
So
drive
you're
home.
the taster.
Yep.
The taste tester.
Yeah, I mean,
Slowly.
it goes back to quality checks. And I come in here and do a sweep to make sure that we don't have them dripping all over the floor. If they are, we pull them out, try to wax
You
them.
just lick it
to
up
seal
if
them
there's
from the
puddles?
outside, because you
Pretty
can't
much.
you can't do anything from the inside. So try to get some wax on it
Don't want
from
it to
the
go to
outside
waste.
to make sure that it stops leaking. I mean, there's always going to be a
shortcut the angels, huh?
little bit of leakage, but
Yeah.
for the most part, we don't.
I
want
am
it
the
dripping
angel
into a
now.
puddle and just falling onto the floor. But yeah, we'll come out and taste test them. Sometimes we'll show them off for different groups, and we'll do like a 6 month before it's even ready. We'll do a 2 year, and we'll try to find a 5 year in here and give everybody just a little tiny bit of it. And you can see the color difference, you can smell the flavor difference. Like everything about it's pretty cool.
Is that the Bourbon Club or is that extra?
No, that's separate one-off stuff that we've done for kind of high-end clients that are, wanting to.
Not friends with me.
We weren't high end.
So since
Getting
you do
there.
all the taste testing, you ever had hot chili and burned your tongue
Oh yeah.
and had to come in and do a taste test? You get the accurate results.
I mean, it definitely changes things. But no, when you do it as often as I do it,
You
like
know what you're looking for.
yeah. And you have to, because these right now are at barrel proof. Like they're way different than 90 proof in a bottle. So you have to understand that going into it, that it's already going to taste different than it will with a bottle. But you have to get past the heat. You're not looking for the heat. You're not looking for the spicy. If it's 124.9 proof, it's going to burn a little bit. You have to ignore the burn and just focus on the flavor.
So do you actually swallow it when you taste it, or just?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna spit it back out. that's a waste. No quitter. That's gold to us. That's not going anywhere but in my belly.
Is there a barrel that's been like you can remember in your mind, like, oh, that was a really good barrel?
Not like what you're thinking. 137 and 138 were the first two that I did myself.
Oh, okay.
So when I came on, I came in as a supervisor to just supervise the bottling line. And then the distiller that we had at that time left. I learned how to do it in the meantime so that we could continue tucking barrels away. And those were the first two that I did. So I'm excited for when we get to open 137 and 138 because those ones are mine.
Yeah.
What is that?
When will that be? Do you know?
When do you get to open 137, 138?
On the schedule
Never mind.
to be the
telling
next
us.
two opened.
Oh.
I would prefer they
I
get a
don't
little
know.
bit
I'd have
older,
to have
so
the
I might
sheet.
try to find a way to shift those around.
The
I
later
want
the better.
mine to be.
Are you planning on keeping 3 or 4 bottles out of that one?
So
Oh yeah.
Okay.
that means it would have to be.
Better make sure I get one
December of 27.
or
Open
2.
it.
It's not
Yeah.
that far away.
Okay.
Not that far away.
December
Yeah, I might get a
27th?
case of that one.
Today's my birthday.
Nice.
A couple for drinking, couple for displaying.
Yep.
Capricorns, man, we're the best.
I thought you were good looking.
You gotta admit, we got a lively group now.
Hey now.
Oh yeah. Takes them a bit to get some traction, but once they're rolling,
Once we hit the
glad I
warehouse,
didn't
it was on like Donkey Kong.
No, just
Yeah, it was.
for you.
had all the questions. Questions I've never been asked before.
You guys are out of luck?
No.
What'd you say?
No, we don't have anything that's any exotic flavor. It's just our standard bourbon and rum recipes that are out here.
You do any spiced rum?
No, just sweet rum. It's the only one we've ever done that we've ever tried, and people like it. So stick with what sells.
Right.
Stick with what the people like. I mean, we haven't really wanted to compete in that space with Captain Morgan and some of those other ones. Like, first of all, we can't put marketing dollars against theirs. So just be different enough to still be us.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yep.
You guys ready to head back in for those drinks? Everybody set their drink down. It's getting watered down with ice.
No, I finished mine.
Yeah.
Can't leave us sitting at a table.
You don't let this stuff just sit
No.
around.
That's right. That's what that kind of roofies you, right?
Oh, God.
Any other questions? Any questions from the live?
No.
Nothing?
No. No questions. Just watchers.
Okay.
Hmm?
Watchers. Okay. That concludes the tour.
Alrighty.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thank
Get
you.
this off the screen real quick. There we go. Hang on. Did you miss anything?
Very nice.
Is there anything in there that stands out that you might want to clarify on a little bit?
No, I think I was super thorough for you guys. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to add to anything. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about your
Fake it till you make it.
bourbon club that you got going
I know
on.
Boulevard and
So
Kansas.
Bourbon Club is a quarterly meetup.
It's
No, I
called Rye
explained it a
on
little
Rye.
bit, but if you didn't
Do
quite
any
catch
of the
it,
hour
so
breweries
it's a
do that with
quarterly
these? 'Cause
meetup.
it kinda,
It's
when
done
you
February,
drink the
May,
I don't know.
August,
It
and
kind of has a
November.
whiskey flavor
Yeah.
to it.
Once you are a
So we
Bourbon
have
Club
some beers
member,
inside
you
the-
get an invite to the Bourbon Club events. So there's an email along with it, sign up sheet. You pick what day you want to go, what session you want to be at. Like, there's multiple days, multiple sessions for whatever works best for your schedule. So typically do 3 of them on Sunday, like a noon to 2, a 2 to 4, and a 4 to 6. And then like 2 or 3 during the week if people can't happen to make it on a Sunday. So the after work shift people, if you want to come to it. Each of those events includes a free meal. The one that we just had, May, always falls same week as Cinco de Mayo. So we had a taco truck outside, and everybody's given tickets to just go out, order whatever tacos you want, bring them back inside, have tacos while you're sipping your drinks. That includes a Bourbon Club discount on all bottles and cocktails in the lounge. You obviously can't take your Bourbon Club ID to Hy-Vee and get a discount on bottles there. You have to buy them in-house. So if you plan on coming just a couple times a year, it easily pays for itself with the discounts that you get. So, yeah, it's like I said, it's the quarterly meetup, but then you get the day-to-day deals. I know that we're rolling out a new points system as well. Bourbon Club's going to be changing a little bit. I don't quite have all of the details on that because it hasn't rolled out yet. But as soon as things change, I'll be happy to jump on and talk about them.
Oh, there we go. So what are the bar operating hours that you guys normally run by?
It changes throughout the year. Summer hours, we are open a little bit earlier. And it changes throughout the day. So closed on Mondays. I know that. Not open on Mondays. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is 2 to 9. Friday, Saturday is noon to 10. And then Sunday is noon to 5. So you can always look it up online too, just in case stuff shifts around. We do occasionally have private events where somebody rents out the entire distillery because they want to bring in 40 people, whatever, birthday party or a wedding shower, all sorts of events. So if you ever do want to swing by, just double check on Facebook or on Google real quick to make sure that, it's operating hours and that somebody didn't buy the place out.
And you are in operating zone of Ubers and hotels.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's only a couple minutes straight south of West Des Moines. Not a lot of people realize how close Cumming is to the Des Moines area and West Des Moines specifically. It's right down I-35 from West Des Moines. Like I can get from our lounge to Lowe's in West Des Moines in about 9 minutes. So it doesn't take long at all getting around.
So anything else about the distillery or anything else you want to throw out there? Or have we covered it all today?
Get some of these visitors or, some of your Patreons to come visit. You've been there. You enjoyed it.
It's a great time.
You had a pretty good time. How do we get more people to come?
Hell
and
yes.
if you can't make it all the way to coming, how do we get you to just buy some bottles and try them? If you've never had them, try them. If you've already had them, try them again.
I know Prairie Fire is in like everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
The bourbon, the bourbon you usually have to go to either you guys or to like Hy-Vee, but Prairie Fire and Saints and Centers is in every grocery store.
Yeah,
and I've started seeing every now and then it pops up in a Casey's, but not very often.
Right.
The little shooter bottles are hard to find every now and then, but those are also at Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee and Fairway are the two big ones. The shooters, you'll see more of just those at gas stations than the 750 bottles. It's just with gas stations, they don't have the shelf space that, a full grocery store does. So, and all of the liquor stores, like the big ones, Wall of Wine and stuff like that in West Des Moines, they carry all of our products. Last time I was in there, they even had some rum out there still. And that changed a long time ago to where we only sell rum through our distillery. So
by all means, get out there, grab a bottle, give it a shot, and then if you like it, swing by, leave a review.
Right.
Tell them how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'm there until 4:00 every day. So if you get in before production gets out, pop in and say, "Oh, I saw the podcast. I'll buy you a drink."
Drag him out of the basement. Get your free drink.
There you go.
Get him away from his military supplies.
Now, if we get 80 people that are watching this thing and they all show up at the same time, like I ain't breaking the bank. Like I'll have to take it back. But
you can start a GoFundMe.
There we go.
All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by, and we'll get this episode out there pretty quick for you. How's that sound?
Sounds good. I dig it.
All right, man. Later.